I don't think you heard me.
Hey, what's going on you guys? Matrox Gaming here, and welcome to today's video. Now, before I get started, I really just want to say thanks for all the love and support I've gotten recently thanks to one of my previous videos talking about how strong Superman is. This quickly became my most viewed video of all time, surpassing my previous one from back in like 2013 on my other channel, which didn't even hit 1,000 views yet. I've also gotten quite a few more subscribers, and as of right now, I'm at 70 subscribers, which once again supersedes the amount my other channel has, so thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. So another character analysis video I've been wanting to do for a long time now is one on the ultimate life form himself, Shadow the Hedgehog. He is easily my favorite Sonic character since I was personally introduced to him in Sonic Heroes, and ever since then I've just been so drawn to every iteration of the character. But why? What is it about Shadow that makes me like him so much? Well, obviously not everyone is Shadow's biggest fan, but I personally love his complexity and his approach to situations and how he handles all of them in such a fashion that it's practically impossible for it to not leave a lasting impression, especially on a kid like me at the time. I remember first playing Sonic Heroes when I first got it back in 2004 when I was about 7 years old, and I remember me and a buddy using the classic Game Shark for PS2 to breeze our way through it. Yet over the course of the story, especially Team Dark's story, I found myself more and more curious about Shadow's character arc and what it was all leading up to. And now here I am, about 18 years later, having played a good majority of the games featuring him, and also seeing the two Sonic movies with, spoiler alert, Shadow making a post-credit scene at the end of Sonic 2. And that makes this a perfect opportunity to fully analyze Shadow before Sonic 3 comes out for those who may be getting into the Sonic series for the first time. Now I'm gonna try my absolute hardest not to dick ride the character like I have been already. So if anything I say sounds like I'm just praising Shadow and straight up kissing his ass, keep in mind that I'm just stating facts, and nothing I say or do will ever stray away from that. And if I do, I'll try and at least mention that it's just an opinion that I have. So without further ado, let's get to talking about Shadow. What is without a doubt the biggest thing about Shadow that one can notice is just how overwhelmingly cool he is. That's the best way to describe him right off the bat. He's a very nonchalant yet hot-headed hedgehog who is created to be the ultimate life form, a perfect being made to be a weapon for the military and to also be the answer to cure diseases such as the one endangering the life of his dear friend Maria. Speaking of Maria, I think that's where we'll start with his character. The special relationship he had with Maria seems to be much closer than most characters in the Sonic universe ever had. When Shadow was created, they always hung out with each other, always talking and always playing. Maria was definitely idealistic and wanted nothing but the best for both the hard workers on the Space Colony Ark, including her grandfather Gerald Robotnik, who is Shadow's creator, but she also cared very much about the people on Earth. With her grandfather working on the Ark, both her and Shadow were born on it, so they never had the opportunity to actually go down and visit the planet beneath them, and they even promised each other to one day visit Earth together. This is one of the few times we genuinely see Shadow at his happiest state, as he also cared very much for the workers on the Space Colony Ark. This all changed, however, when the Ark was attacked by the government. This is basically a massive conspiracy that Shadow was the only survivor of, and the more we as the players of Sonic Adventure 2 played the game, the more it made the incident on the Ark a much more interesting event. See, what basically happened was the Space Colony Ark was a project that was being government funded for the creation of Project Shadow, a research project with the objective of creating the ultimate life form. The government basically decided to instead change their minds on their funds for the project once they found out what Professor Robotnik was doing behind closed doors. Like I mentioned before, Maria was ill with a disease that was previously known to be incurable, so Robotnik started conducting research for the sake of creating a cure. This is how Shadow is completely immune to disease, cancer, even the common cold. Shadow was basically created to be a miracle worker, and had the incident not happened, the best case scenario could have happened. The soldiers basically had orders to raid the Ark and to kill and destroy anyone and anything related to Robotnik's research. No one was spared except for Shadow. Maria gave the last of her strength for Shadow to escape out of the Ark at the cost of her own life, a traumatizing death at the hands of the soldiers Shadow had to witness firsthand. Initially, it was thought Shadow was reprogrammed to take revenge on the human race for what happened on the Ark 50 years later, and that's exactly what Shadow was going to do. If there's anything about Shadow, it's that when he has a goal, he tirelessly pursues it until it's reached, and this pursuit to taking revenge on humanity had him fight with Sonic quite frequently. But the thing about all of that is deep down, Shadow was confused. He didn't know exactly what he was fighting for. He didn't know why he was fighting this blue hedgehog. To him, there was no light. He was wandering confused as to what the best course of action was. Sonic and his team knew Shadow wasn't a bad guy. Shadow has been a victim of manipulation by Eggman and his biological father Black Doom into committing evil when that's never been who Shadow was. Why? Why is he doing all of this? Why is Shadow so angry at the human race? What did it mean to him to be the ultimate life form? What was the true purpose of his existence? These were all a bunch of questions constantly bothering Shadow throughout the course of Sonic Adventure 2. Here is a black and red hedgehog believing that he's doing the right thing simply because someone else told him to. But what exactly is the right thing? What is it that he truly believes in? This all comes to fruition when Amy's cries and pleas for Shadow to give humanity a second chance causes him to remember what the promise he made to Maria was. Maria wanted Shadow to be humanity's savior, a beacon of salvation, a chance for human beings to be happy and to live in harmony amongst them. This realization causes Shadow to go from Sonic's enemy to his ally to face the Bio Lizard, which had taken control of the Ark on a crash course to collide with Earth. The battle left Shadow on the brink of death and a bad case of amnesia, and this is where we get to Sonic Heroes, where I was introduced to Shadow. With no memory of who he was before, Shadow is once again at the mercy of others. He meets Rouge the Bat and E123 Omega, and they soon become his only true friends. What brings them all together is their need for finding Eggman. Omega wants revenge on him, Rouge wants whatever treasure he has, and Shadow wants his memories. Shadow is fully aware that his name is Shadow the Hedgehog. He knows that's his name, but he has to ask himself exactly who Shadow the Hedgehog is. Who is this mysterious being he has no recollection of? Throughout Sonic Heroes, we do have a moment where he realizes whether he's Shadow or not, he is himself, and that's all that matters, which we'll ignore for now. Because in his own spin-off game, Shadow once again struggles to remember who he is. It's a three-way tug-of-war between Sonic and his team, Eggman and his army, and Black Doom and the Black Arms tugging on to Shadow to get him to join one of their sides. Say what you want about the Shadow the Hedgehog game, but I personally felt this was necessary since Shadow was still a relatively new character at the time, and he was still a blank canvas who could be dyed any color. I feel the entire point was for people to make a decision on who they think Shadow should be, and that's why there's 10 different endings. Of course, the official ending is him learning the truth about his past and why he was initially created in the first place. All these memories keep flooding back, allowing him to make his resolve to stop his biological father from destroying the planet he promised Maria he'd protect, which I think is a fitting conclusion to the Sonic Adventure series. Now we lead up to Sonic 06, which in my opinion is the best possible representation of Shadow we've ever gotten. Shadow now works in the military, and he works with Rouge a lot as well. The entire point for this story is his battle with Mephiles, and I think Mephiles is the best possible example of showing exactly how far Shadow has come. Mephiles initially looks a lot like Shadow. He's a pure evil psychopath, run by rage and hatred for the human race and an extreme love of destruction for all things in existence. He even tempts Shadow into joining him so that together they can take revenge on the human race. Why this is so fitting to be Shadow's enemy is because this is who he was before. Fueled by rage and hatred for humans, a conquest for revenge, a goal of annihilation. Shadow is basically looking in the mirror here. This is who he used to be, or at the very least, this is who he could have ended up becoming. Shadow wants nothing more than to defeat Mephiles because over the course of the game, he realizes exactly how dangerous Mephiles is. He doesn't want to take any chances with this guy. He now realizes Mephiles was just trying to manipulate him like countless other people once did. Something noteworthy about Shadow's character is that when Omega tells him what Mephiles told him, about how Omega was the one who defeats and seals Shadow in the future, you can see the look of betrayal on his face. Shadow is clearly bothered by this. This shows Shadow is not immune to trusting others. He has to take a moment to digest what he was just told. Mephiles finally got in Shadow's head. Shadow now realizes perhaps one day the world and all of its people will betray him after all the things Shadow has done for them. Then there's the slight look of relief when Rouge comments that even if the world betrays him, she's always going to side with Shadow. She knows Shadow. She respects him as a true friend. Shadow also does seem to forgive Omega despite the role he plays in Shadow's apparent future. And I think the one thing that really identifies who Shadow is deep down is when asked why he continues to fight for those who are going to betray him later, Shadow responds by saying, "If the world chooses to become my enemy, then I'll fight like I always have." What this means is Shadow is going to continue fighting for humanity. He's going to continue doing what's right regardless of what the world thinks of him, and he has Rouge and Omega to help him with that. I think the most captivating thing about Shadow though is the fact that Shadow chooses to remain aloof and distant from Sonic and the others because unlike all of them, with the exception of Omega, Shadow is immortal. he's built to last forever. That means Shadow is going to outlive Sonic, Rouge, and all of his friends that he'd do anything for, and Shadow knows this. So to him, what's the point in making these connections if he's just going to live on without them anyway? Why even bother making friends? People make fun of Shadow for being an edgelord because he's always brooding in the corner somewhere, but they have to think about what it is he's probably thinking. Shadow's been through a lot already. He witnessed his best friend murdered right in front of him and was used and manipulated countless times. He also knows all of his friends will die of natural causes or even diseases or cancer at some point, but he won't. Shadow is immune to all of that. He won't die no matter what, so why establish connections with anyone when he knows he's going to outlive all of them? I'm sure Shadow genuinely wants to partake in whatever activity the group does, but simply doesn't because of that fact. That's why Shadow always comes off as a lone wolf, even in combat. Shadow has shown to be quite brutal in combat. He sealed Mephiles in the Scepter of Darkness without warning and beat Infinite so bad that he gave Infinite PTSD. Infinite was genuinely afraid of Shadow. Yes, the main villain of Sonic Forces only became that way because he received the beating of his life and was staring death in the eye while it was only Tuesday for Shadow. Shadow beat Infinite so badly he got PTSD from it. Imagine being such a badass that you beat someone so badly that they ended up becoming the main villain later on. That's literally the kind of thing that Shadow does on the daily. Infinite was fighting for his life at that moment, and for Shadow, it was Tuesday. That just goes to show that Shadow truly is quite potentially the most dangerous character in the Sonic universe. From an iron will to do what he thinks is right, with a huge dedication and resolve in pursuit of his goals no matter what, and the power, speed, and intelligence to make his goals a reality regardless of the opposition. And you now understand why Shadow the Hedgehog is my favorite Sonic character. And add mental resiliency in there, and you have everything that makes him the ultimate life form. But anyway, I think I covered just about all I can with Shadow, so I think this is where I'll stop the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as much as I had loads of fun making it, so if you did, be sure to drop me a like on this video, leave a comment below as to what other videos you'd like me to do next. Also subscribe to the channel because we are now on the road to 100 subscribers, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but this will be a huge accomplishment for a small-time YouTuber like myself, so subscribe to this channel and let's make it to 100. Also be sure to drop me a comment telling me what you think I should do for a 100 subscriber special. One last thing, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram where you'll be notified of my uploads and also see whatever shenanigans I also have going on. Follow me on Instagram at MikeRoberts210 shown here on screen, and follow my Twitter at TripleAxe97 also shown here on screen. I have a Facebook page too that I'm not really active on anymore, but if you so choose to follow that one too, then I'll be sure to start coming back to that one too. Anyway, that's all for today guys. Matrox Gaming out. Peace.